Hey love, welcome to the Solar Clarity Podcast. I'm AP, and together we explore the journey from heart to harmony to horizon. Take a deep breath, settle in, and make this your space to heal, grow, and glow from the inside out. There's a moment in every transformation where you know change has to happen, but you have no idea where to start. Maybe you feel like you're drowning in grief, or like you've carried so much pain that even the thought of moving forward feels impossible. Maybe it's not even pain. Maybe it's just the weight of being human, of responsibilities, expectations, or that endless question of what if. I've been there, and what I've learned is that change rarely begins with a perfect plan. It begins in the mess. It begins when you're still scared, still unsure, and definitely overwhelmed. Because transformation isn't about knowing every step. It's about taking one. Psychologist says this too. Research shows that breaking a big change down into tiny, manageable actions increases the chances of actually sustaining it. It's not about rewriting your whole life in a day. It's about saying, today, I'm gonna do this for myself. Spiritually, I think of that as answering a call from your own soul. Even when the mind says, I'm not ready, your spirit whispers, start anyway. Music has taught me this too. A song doesn't begin with a full chorus. It begins with a single note. And often that first note feels quiet, shaky, maybe even a little uncertain. But it's still the beginning of something beautiful. So if you're standing at the edge of your own transformation, if you're staring at the fog and wondering how to walk through it, know this. You don't need the whole path. You just need the first step and the courage to take it even if your voice shakes or your heart is literally pounding in your chest. Because once you start, momentum builds, and one day you'll look back and realize that what once felt impossible has become the new shape of your life. Today's conversation is all about transformative change. That space where you know something has to shift in your life, but you feel too overwhelmed, too tired, or maybe too unsure of where to even begin. If you've ever sat in that place, frozen between the weight of the past and the uncertainty of the future, this episode is for you. I want to hold space for the truth that change is messy, it's scary, and it never comes with a step-by-step guide. But it is possible, and often it begins smaller than you think. Let's be so fucking for real. Change sounds beautiful on paper when we talk about it in hindsight, when the storm has passed, when the healing has already taken root. But at the start, it feels like something odd, unfamiliar, like standing in a fog. Heavy, unclear, fucking disorienting. I feel the most uncertain when I'm starting anything, to be honest. Even this podcast. I had been wanting to do this for a really, really long time, and I just couldn't figure out how to work it into my schedule or what I wanted to talk about or how I wanted to set anything up to be aesthetically pleasing. And I realized I'm really tired of trying to appease everyone else but me. Like, I genuinely just wanted to have a conversation. That's what this podcast is. We just talk and we listen to each other and we just grow a community where the outside world doesn't dictate who we are, who I am. And I've been kind of letting that move me and fuel me for the longest. Like, one of the hardest things for me to do is start something. I can't tell you how difficult it is for me personally to just do anything at the beginning. Like, if I don't have all the steps, if I don't have a list of instructions, if I just don't have the necessary tools that I need to do what needs to be done, I literally don't know what to do. My mind is filled with so many options, so many thoughts, so many things to do. And I just get paralyzed by all the things that I could be doing that I just don't do anything. But once I start, like, that momentum is running for me. I can do so much once I've gotten past that initial hurdle. But it's just the starting point that kind of sways me away from actually doing the things that I want to do. And I don't really like that too much about myself. I mean, I'm navigating it, I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm holding space and grace for myself. So I'm not beating myself up about it. And it is something that I can change, and I am working towards that. And that's exactly what this podcast is. There is no visual for this because I didn't want to have to worry about what I look like, how I dress, the area that I'm in, what that looks like. I just moved into my apartment a few months ago, and there's still pretty much nothing in it because we haven't got any furniture or anything. So I was worried about just being in a essentially empty fucking space. And eventually I'm still going to make visuals for this podcast, and I'm not really going to care too much about what it looks like, to be honest. But I did just want to start. Like, I didn't want to worry about all the ones and twos, the extra, the unnecessary. I didn't want to think about that. I just wanted to start my podcast. This actually means a lot to me. This is a really important thing for me to have even started, and I want to be consistent with it, because if any of you watched my previous YouTube channel and the way that was going, I kept talking about things that I was going to do and didn't actually do anything, and then I just stopped for like 2 years. And yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on in my life, and there was some health issues and some mental health issues, and I just had a lot going on, and it just didn't align at that time. But now I feel like since I've settled into this new era of my life, and I've grown accustomed to how I function in my day-to-day, I can actually do this. I don't have to run along the mainstream of things. I can do my own thing. I can be an individual. So I basically just wanted to be here with all of you. Just talking, just having that conversation. Also, here's something interesting. Psychologists have studied this. A report by the American Psychological Association found that nearly 27% of adults feel paralyzed by stress, to the point that they don't know where to begin. That's more than 1 in 4 people. So if you've ever felt too overwhelmed to take that first step, you're not broken, you're not lazy, you're human. And your nervous system is just trying to protect you from bullshit, uncertainty. We often wait for the perfect conditions to begin. We think, when I'm less tired, when I have more money, when I'm fully healed, then I'll start. But that is literally a myth. There is no perfect beginnings. There is no 100% great start. There's going to be bumps. There's going to be something there that just causes a struggle. You don't have all the answers. You don't know everything. Waiting for the perfect timing will have you never doing the things that you want to do. Spiritually, I believe the soul doesn't care if you feel ready. The call will come anyway. And psychologically, research shows that taking tiny, consistent actions is far more effective than waiting for the right moment. I'm a spiritual person. I do believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that there are no coincidences. If you are being called to do something, it is time to do it. There is no holding off. There is no pushing it away. You have to do it. And honestly, if you don't, I feel like that causes a whole new set of problems that you now have to work through. Like, we usually learn lessons the hard way. Like, we don't listen to authority much. At least I don't, personally. Like, people I don't know have my best interest at heart, and plus, like, all of my trauma and how I grew up, it kind of just doesn't sit well with me when someone tells me what to do, so I go do my own thing, like the hard-headed bastard I am. And, I get hit with the same lesson over and over again, but the severity is different each and every time. It's like, oh, you didn't want to listen? All right. First, it was a nudge. Then it was a push. Now it's a full-on punch in the gut because you don't want to listen to me. I want to share a little of my own truth here. There were times in my life when change wasn't an option, it was a necessity. Times where I felt empty or disconnected or trapped in situations that felt like they were swallowing me. And I used to think that if I couldn't take huge leaps, I was failing. But what I learned is that my healing begins in small, almost invisible ways. Choosing to speak my truth out loud, even if shakily. Choosing to take a walk when my mind told me to stay in bed. Choosing to ask for help, even if I don't fully know what that means. Each of those moments was a step through a foggy, unclear world. And once I took a step, the next one revealed itself all on its own. I talked to a couple of important people in my life to see what their experiences were like in starting things. My boyfriend, his big start was his audio engineering and his music career, mostly like learning how to audio engineer himself and like what that meant for him. Like, yeah, he got help from other people and he learned basic things about audio engineering, but he essentially cultivated that into something he could understand for himself, just picking and choosing what makes sense to him and then turning that into his own unique experience. He said that the hardest thing was doing it, starting it, because he kept running into things that would set him back, and the frustration of being set back sort of outweighed doing the actual thing. But he kept going, and he's really, 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 really talented. He audio engineers me sometimes. He audio engineers himself. He works in a studio with his business partner. It's like the craziest thing to witness. And then you look at him, he literally zones out when he does his audio engineering stuff. It's cute. It's like so interesting to watch. He's like, I'm such a nerd. And it's like, yeah, but I love watching him do his thing. Like, that is him. And you can see all of him pouring into this because he loves it. He genuinely loves music and being an artist and showing his creativity and like letting people see his soul. That's literally who he is. Music is his life. And he got those basic things down, and it just helped him soar beyond anything he could have possibly imagined. My best friend, Bree, her big start, actually starting it isn't hard for her. Like, she does whatever calls her and how it calls her and what it takes to do the specific thing, like how much energy she needs to put into it, how much time, and she allows herself to maneuver throughout that in whatever way, suits her. If she pours so much into something like her poetry, then she's kind of stuck for a few days. She can't really get back into that groove because she poured so much emotion into that one piece. And trust me, my bestie runs on emotion. Like, her entire life is fueled by her emotions. So whatever she's feeling is going to come out in whatever she's doing. And without those feelings, it kind of just leaves her in this weird void of space. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? And it kind of sort of paralyzes her until the next wave of emotion comes. And she's learned to navigate that and move and transition in a way that suits her best. She stops and starts when she needs to. And she doesn't beat herself up about those stopping and startings, because it's not about that being the whole of what she's doing. The stopping doesn't mean that you're any less great, and the starting over doesn't mean that what you did means absolutely nothing. It kind of just flows. She's supposed to flow. And I feel like that makes sense for her and how she is. My bestie is an emotional ray of moonlight, and I adore her with everything in me. She teaches me how to let my emotions out, to feel them, to flow with them. And in watching her and being around her, I do get knowledge from her. I am sort of like that too. My emotions will just surge, and I will ride that wave until I don't have it anymore. And then I'm sitting there like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do now? Where do I go from here? Like, I feel like it's about falling in love with the process and being able to see the vision of the end, and that be just as important and as worthy as actually getting to the end. Because yeah, you have that beautiful moment where you've accomplished something and you now can start something new, but you still have that mindset of like, okay, now I have to do something else, and you don't fully appreciate what you've done. So the process of actually doing it, whatever that looks like, should be your gratitude and your appreciation and love, because the ending is just that. It's an ending. It's time to do something else. It's time to move on, and you can look back fondly on it, but like, you're never going to see the end like you saw the process, even in its frustrating, beautiful glory. I also asked my cousin Maya. She is probably one of my biggest inspirations. Her big start was school, doing nursing school, and she showed up for herself in her own space without the pressures of what other people were saying. It was just how she felt and what she wanted, and that fueled her going into her career, basically. I love this. I'm gonna read what she said because like, it really hit me. She said, for me, starting over taught me 3 big things. 1, it's okay to change direction until you find what really fits. 2, mindset is everything. Once I believe I could actually do it, I showed up differently. And 3, consistency grows once you take that first step. And that's basically everything that I've said, but she summarized it for me in a way that I could structure this video, and I love her for that. Thank you, Maya. If you're listening, I love you so much. I asked, would you say that starting over shifts your mindset, or is it the other way around and it takes a shift in how you think about things in order to start over? And she said it's both. For her personally, The decision to start over with school came after she shifted how she thought about it. Instead of looking at it as her failing, she started to see it as her giving herself another chance. That mindset shift gave her the courage to actually begin again. And once she did start over, the process itself shifted her mindset even more, seeing that her grades started going up and she felt like she was on the right path, and it built her confidence. So I really agree. It can do both. I feel like you can grow into this blooming, beautiful, brilliant person. Like, it doesn't have to be either or. Like, getting started, getting revved up to begin, you can tell yourself, this is going to be messy, but I enjoy the process and shifting and maneuvering through that mess to find all the pieces that I need to get to where I want to be. And once you've gotten past that and you're in it, you're like, oh, I'm actually really glad that I stuck it out and I got through all of the mess and the crazy, unorthodox shit that it took to get here. And you can be proud of yourself for that. You can really look at yourself as a whole new being. Now, on a spiritual level, I believe every transformation is a kind of rebirth. And birth is messy, painful, loud. It's also life. The sun doesn't rise instantly. It climbs slowly, almost imperceptibly, until the whole sky is filled with light. That's how change works too. One step, then another, until one day you realize the fog has thinned and you can see clearly. So if you're standing at the edge of your own transformation, overwhelmed and unsure, let this be your reminder. You don't need the whole path. You just need to find what it means to take the first step. So let's talk about what this actually looks like for you. Here are 3 ways to start even when you feel too overwhelmed. 1. Micro steps. Instead of saying, I need to change my whole life, break it down into one tiny step. Research on habit building by Dr. B.J. Fogg at Stanford shows that attaching a small action to something you already do increases the chance you'll stick to it. Example, after I brush my teeth, I'll write 1 sentence in my journal. 2. Anchor practices. When the fog feels heavy, ground yourself with rituals. Breath work, prayer, a song that brings you peace, whatever keeps you tethered. Anchors don't clear the fog, but they remind you that you're not lost inside it. 3. Compassionate curiosity. Instead of asking, why am I failing? Ask, what do I need right now? Shifting from judgment to curiosity softens the overwhelm and opens space for movement. Remember, starting doesn't mean finishing in a day. Starting means you choose yourself in that moment. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today that honors my healing? Not the biggest thing, not the final thing, just the first thing. Because once you move, momentum builds, and one day you'll look back and realize what once felt impossible became the new shape of your life. Just a little closing thing I want to say. This felt good. It felt great to just begin to do this podcast, to be present in this moment with you. Honestly, it's 8:30 in the rising, and the people in my house were asleep, so I came out to my car, and this is what starting looks like for me. This is what this is, and I'm so proud of myself, so grateful for whatever this journey leads to. And if at any point you had a thought or a feeling or you just wanted to seek clarity or criticism, you wanted to criticize me, that's good too. I appreciate anything, any type of addition to the conversation. Please leave it in the comments. Please like, please share. Give this space to someone who needs it. And let's just keep doing our thing. Let's keep having the hard conversations. Let's build. Let's begin. Thank you for being here in this space with me. I hope today's conversation gave you clarity, warmth, and a reminder that you're not alone. And your journey might match someone else's. And you can have a conversation. You can feel united. I just can't wait to see what happens. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.